Hi everyone, welcome to Quetzal Talk. This is Daniel,
And this is the little one. Hello, people.
and we have a special guest today, Cheyenne Hernandez. How are you doing, Cheyenne?
Hi.
Hi.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for calling all the way from Australia, right?
Yeah.
Wow, what are you doing all the way over there?
I live half here and half in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Have you seen any kangaroos yet?
Definitely. I love them. They're adorable.
Hell yeah. I want to see the koalas too. Are they lazy like they all say?
Definitely. But they're so cute.
I bet. So
I heard they're mean, though. I heard they're
They're-
mean here.
They're mean, like they'll attack people?
Yeah. I heard several stories of koalas attacking.
Oh man, that's kind of scary. That would be frightening to have something so cute attack you.
Yeah. And apparently they're pretty ferocious. Like, they can rip you apart and stuff. That's not great.
Yeah, they have claws and everything.
Yeah.
All right, well, we wanted to have you over here so we could talk about your new movie that you're in with Shia LaBeouf, The Tax Collector.
Yeah. It was great. It was awesome.
Yeah, so what was your role in it? Gata? That's the name, right? And you played a villain?
Yeah. I played Gata. It's her and Conejo that are the two villains that come in and try to take over the gang world and stuff.
Man, was it fun playing a villain?
Oh my God, it was so much fun. It was a blast. I definitely would rather play the villain than the hero.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's more interesting, right? And everyone always seems to have a following towards
it
a
was
villain.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah. I was working with Shia LaBeouf.
He is absolutely amazing. He's such a sweetheart, such a hard worker. I learned so much from him every single day that I was on set. It was such a blessing to work with him.
And what about George Lopez? Did you have a good time working with him?
Definitely. He's hilarious. Like, he's so funny no matter what he's doing. It was just, he made working on set just just a blast.
And were you starstruck the first time you met Shia LaBeouf and G-Lo?
I didn't know it was Shia at first. He walked in and he was bald from the movie he had just done.
Right.
And he walked up and just shook my. He's like, "Oh, you're Gata." He's like, "I like your character." And then he's like, "Hi, I'm Shia. I'm playing Creeper." And then someone called him and he's like, "Excuse me," and he walked away. And it still didn't click that was Shia until I think somebody came up to him and was like, "Oh my God, that's Shia LaBeouf." And I had no idea that he was even going to be in the movie. So I was more just surprised. And then right away he came back and he was like, to all of us, he's like, "Okay, we're a family now. This is my phone number. Call me. Let me know whatever you need. I'm here for you." So it was just like, he was just such a trooper from the beginning. And then George Lopez, the first time I met him, he just kind of walked into hair and makeup, and I was getting my hair and makeup done.
Right.
And he sat down next to me and just started talking. And then I couldn't believe it was George Lopez. It was crazy.
Man, that's kind of fascinating. And did they teach you anything, like any acting, like, or did you already come like fully prepared with your own acting training?
Everything that I had pretty much learned was either online or classes here and there. I was not an expert in the least bit. I was definitely the newest person on that set. But all of them, Lana Padilla, George, Shia, David, all of them just completely took me under their wing. I feel like I got a crash course on acting and the industry just by working with them. Shia really, really taught me how to method act. David Ayer helped me harness it because once you learn how to do that, it can take its toll on your mind. And so he kind of helped me figure out how to get it under control. And then Lana Padilla really helped me as far as I just got out of the military, so I wasn't good at being a girl, really. And so Lana Padilla, she really taught me how to walk skills, how to do my makeup. I mean, it was just, all of them were such a huge help.
And how long did it take to record the whole movie?
The filming of the movie was only a couple of months, but where the hard work went into it was training for the movie. So we had been in rehearsal. We had been. He put me in MMA, so I was training in MMA months before the movie. Yeah, so it a lot went into it, but it was before filming.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool.
So there's a lot of crazy fight scenes in it.
Yeah.
Dude. And can you tell us, being from El Paso, how or when was it that you decided to become an actress?
I always wanted to act since I was a kid. Me and he's my cousin, but I call him my brother. Do you remember the Isaiah and Joshua deal? The Christmas Eve 2014 car crash. It was like all over the news. But that was my brother Isaiah, and he was killed by a drunk driver. Yeah, in El Paso. And so, yeah, him and I, we used to just put on shows for our family. We used to put on magic shows. We were always acting around the house. We were always like playing spies, and it was just like something that we had wanted to do since we were kids. And life happens. So I joined the military. I didn't have money for college, so it was kind of that thing where it's just I kind of wrapped around and got back to it,
Right. Oh, damn. Well, sorry to hear about your cousin. That's really tragic. It sucks. But also, we want to go ahead and ask you about right here, like people like us, we hear a whole bunch of crazy things about, like the Hollywood world and, about the Illuminati and stuff like that. Have you ever seen anything crazy now that you're like in this Hollywood world?
Not really anything like that. I did have this one really weird incident. It was my first time on Hollywood, like the Strip, and I was interning for this company for this acting program, and they were having this like huge ball, and you had to pay for it. And I was homeless at the time, so I couldn't pay to go. And so me and this other girl who also couldn't go, her and I went to walk around the Hollywood Strip, and this was pretty late at night. And so we're walking around. We got these hot dogs that were really, really good, and we couldn't stop talking about them. And we're walking by this guy, and he's trying to talk to people, but there was like a language barrier. It sounded like he was from India, and I felt bad because people were being really mean to him because they couldn't understand him. And so I just kind of like put my hot dog down, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on? What are you trying to say?" And I was like gonna give him the time to listen. And he starts telling me, okay, well, if there's anything about your personality that you want to change, anything that's holding you back, this company can help you. And so I was like, okay. And then he said, we have free stuff in here too. And so, I mean, I'm Mexican. When I hear the word free, I'm running it. Right. So I'm like, okay. So my friend and I, we agreed. And so we agreed to fill out this form. And it was like a questionnaire on stuff about you. So we go in and we start answering these questions. And then all of a sudden she goes, "Shy, there's snakes on the wall." And I was like, "What do you mean there's snakes on the wall?" And I look up and it's just like snakes everywhere. And then there was like triangles and Dante's Inferno painted. And then I was like, okay, where are we? And so she flips to the back of this questionnaire, and it was the Scientologist group.
Oh, yeah. They're creepy.
Yeah, and I was like, oh no. And so I just kind of, I didn't know too much about that. I still don't really. Just, it was just like my first reaction. And so I was like, oh my God, okay, I don't want to get into this right now. And so we get up and we're like, oh, sorry, we gotta go. And then like two guys stand up and they're like, no, you need to finish the questionnaire. And we're like, well, we have to go like right now. And they're like, no, you need to stay. And so her and I just wound up running.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, I don't know. It was just that was a weird experience, but I still don't know anything about that. So right. I don't know.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of crazy things about that whole Scientology religion, and it's pretty awkward. I've seen also podcasts where they talk about all the crazy shit that goes on with that. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a cult, right? Would you consider it a cult?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm kind of in that place where I like to be a little bit blissfully ignorant about that stuff,
Yeah.
I'm not interested in joining. Yeah, I'm not interested in joining, but if somebody else is that's their thing, then, do what you want to do,
So back to the tax collector. Can you let us know a little bit about what the whole movie, what the movie's about, más o menos, and just basically let us know a little bit about the characters, and so we could go ahead and go watch it.
So tax collector, it's basically about Shia LaBeouf. He plays Creeper, who's kind of like the best friend to the main character, Bobby Soto. He plays David. And they are, it's kind of like it shows you their gang life and their home life. So it shows David actually has a family that he really loves, this whole kingdom pretty much that is run by these two. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of shows the struggles that he has with morals and stuff as far as, it has to be done in the gang world. And it's he doesn't really want to, but he's wrapped up into that world and he has to. He doesn't have a choice. And which is what a lot of people, I don't think, realize, is that not everybody wants to be in that lifestyle. It's just, it was forced upon them in some way or another, and now they're stuck.
Right, yeah.
And so that's basically him. And so it kind of shows where he has that, where he's leaning towards the light, but he has to go into the darkness sometimes. And then, but he tries to keep his morals in check. And then Conejo and I come to town, and it's kind of all of a sudden a power struggle because we just got back from Jalisco and we're ready to take our crown back, essentially. And so it's kind of who's going to walk away with the crown type situation. And we kind of attack his family, and, it's just all hell breaks loose. Right. But so basically, the movie is a power struggle, not only between the two gangs, but between good and evil, and not even good and evil between him and us. It's good and evil inside of him. How low is he going to go to defeat us, kind of thing.
Yeah. And then, in terms of the acting though, you said something about how you learned method acting and how, you also had to learn how to handle it. Can you give any information about that? Cause sometimes, my experience is that sometimes method acting could also be almost schizophrenic.
It's actually pretty nuts. I know that I had always watched method actors on TV, and I had always seen Shia and heard the stories, but you can't quite imagine just how deep it gets until you're there. And so it took me a while to let go, because I felt like every time I would try to let go, part of me was still there. And I still kind of had the power to reel it in when I wanted to, but eventually I couldn't do that. It was my first time not only method acting, but acting. So at one point I did get so into the role that I completely understand the stories of Shia, where he's done all that crazy stuff, is because it's a very fine line as to letting yourself go and you still being able to come back. So for my character, it's like she was evil, and I'm not. And so it was a lot of letting go of my inhibitions, letting go of what I know to be right and wrong, and just being raw and primal, which is what my character called for. So I would try to kind of like bring me back later on in the day on set, and I would, because I'm goofy, so I would just start making people laugh and like being me again. But then it's like people knew when I was back to Gata, like they knew when I was like, don't talk to me. But yeah, and then so after Tax Collector finished filming, it's like I didn't know who I was. I had a very hard time coming back to being Cheyenne because I felt like even my thoughts were Gatas, they weren't even mine anymore.
Oh man, that's kind of scary. But you feel like you've wrangled it back in again?
Yeah, definitely. It took me a bit, and I've had a couple of smaller roles since then, and I've been able to handle it. But I think that it was the shock of getting thrown into this, and I didn't quite know how to handle it in the beginning.
And one thing that I was wondering is how does one get a role so badass like that? Like how did you end up getting that role in the movie? If you could tell us a little bit about that.
I have no idea. I was literally homeless in LA. I was at the time either if I wasn't living in a car, I was couch surfing with friends. And I finally got a manager, and I was really excited. I didn't have an agency yet, and the manager was just like, okay, well, I'm going to send you out on a couple auditions. We'll see how you do. And that would kind of determine, too, whether he kept me as a client. And so I went on my first audition, which was it wasn't even Tax Collector. It was a different show that David Ayer was working on. And I got a call back, and my manager totally did not expect that so soon, especially with a David Ayer film. So he's like, okay, let's just keep going. And so I got another call back, and we really thought that I had a good chance for the show. And then we get a call that the show was no longer going to go forward. And so it really sucked. I was really disappointed. But then I get a text message from David Ayer, who I didn't even know had my phone number. And so he texted, and he just said, hey, I think you have something. Don't give up. As a matter of fact, be at this place at this time. And so I kind of scrambled, got everything together, and I went. And at this place, it was me, Conejo, Cynthia Carmona, and Bobby Soto. And David just kind of walked in, told us, he sat down, told us the whole plot of the movie, and told us which characters we were going to play. Any questions? And so
just like that? That's crazy.
It was like, yeah, it was not how I expected to get my first role at all. And I remember leaving just like wondering, where's the catch? Like, this can't be possible. This can't be real. So that was all that I was thinking. And I don't think I stopped thinking that until filming wrapped. And then I was like, oh my God, this just happened. I'm really going to be in a movie. I think the whole time I was just thinking that they were going to fire me or something.
Oh man, that would have been horrible.
Sorry about that, my friend. Got a little stuck there. Cheyenne, I want to go ahead and ask you something before we go. I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theory freak here. Do you believe in aliens?
With aliens?
Yeah.
I think we would be pretty small-minded to believe that there wasn't, in this huge galaxy, that there wasn't at least some other life form out there, Right. And so, I do think that something's out there. Do I know if they've been here yet or not? I have no idea. Right. But yeah, I think they're out there. I think they're out there. And I think that a lot of people get stuck on imagining people from a different country, much less a different world,
Right.
So it's like I like to believe that there's something out there, and I like to believe that they're awesome.
Have you ever seen any evidence or anything yourself, like any aliens or any UFOs?
No, I wish.
Check this out. Do you know who JJ Arms is, right? You know him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we had a podcast with him, and we asked him about aliens, and he's like, "No, I don't believe it." But there is an underground city under El Paso, and I've been there. I was like, "Oh man, have you heard anything about that?"
No, but now I want to be friends with JJR.
Yeah, he said that there was an underground city, so he promised us a second podcast. So we're gonna go back and try to get a little bit of information about that. But also, have you heard about all those tunnels that are in Sunset Heights in El Paso?
No.
Oh, you should hear about those. Those are crazy. There's supposedly was like 900 miles of tunnels all over El Paso, supposedly, and I don't know. It's crazy, dude. But Cheyenne,
I'm not surprised.
I'm sorry.
I'm not surprised. El Paso has a lot of history. And a lot of people in El Paso have seen a lot of weird things. Which one's that high school that's haunted?
Oh, El Paso High.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
well, those
a lot of people have seen a lot.
Well, I'm sorry. I was gonna say that there's tunnels that connect also under El Paso High, and they go all the way to that library that's downtown, and supposedly they go all the way to Juarez, and it's weird, and they're there. You could see them. There's that apartment complex called the Turtle House, and right there, there's a straight up entrance to those tunnels. Even has chimney and everything. So we're like on this whole I don't know how to call it, this whole thing trying to find out what's going on with those tunnels, you know?
Yeah.
But
Dude, that sounds like a...
right. And when was the last time you've been in El Paso?
It's been almost a year now with everything going on with the COVID and stuff.
Right.
Oh, man, you still have family here?
Oh yeah, most of my family's there. And it really sucks that I don't get to go see them right now. I can't even leave Australia right now. So yeah, I'm really hoping that all of this stuff at least somewhat clears up so travel can begin again.
Right. And how's the COVID in Australia? Is it pretty tamed, or is it out of control, or?
Oh no, it was fine here. Everything got lifted, and then you have a couple of basket cases that just kind of go around and do the wrong thing, and now we're back on quarantine. But I think that we're going to be out in a couple of weeks again. But there's like relatively no cases here. They quarantined everybody as soon as the cases started to rise again, and then now they're all dropped. So yeah, it's not bad here. Like everything's pretty much going to go back to normal really soon.
Oh, that's good. But you weren't personally affected by it. You don't know anybody, or you didn't get affected by the COVID.
I've had a couple of friends that unfortunately have lost their lives due to it. And it was crazy is one of them, she was only 23 years old. So it's mind blowing that it can happen to someone so young, But yeah, I haven't gotten it.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, Cheyenne, we would like to go ahead and thank you for having a conversation here with us. El Paso is very proud to have an El Pasoan like you. And we hope that you continue being successful with all your endeavors. One more question. I know sometimes, most of the times, people cannot talk about their projects coming up. But can you talk about any future projects that you have coming? I
can't. I do have my eye on a couple of projects right now. Nothing's completely set in stone, but yeah, I until that is for sure, I can't really say anything.
Has the industry kind of halted since the COVID?
Yes and no. A lot of productions have halted. However, they're still trying to do casting as far as like Zoom auditions or Skype auditions and stuff. So it's working on just kind of going around what's going on.
Oh, okay.
And one last question. Now that theaters are opening up, is the tax collector also going to open up in theaters?
I think so. I know in El Paso, Bassett has it up already.
Oh, wow.
So I don't. Yeah, I know Bassett Mall already has it.
And if you
So
can,
I don't know who's gonna have.
well, you could stream it online also, correct?
Yeah, Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Well, Cheyenne, well, once again, thank you so much for having a conversation with us. And like I said, once again, hope you're successful with everything you do and with all your future projects. And thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you very much. And
Thank you guys for having me. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
you too. Have a good night.
Thank you.